Hello, everyone. Welcome to Reverend Patty's Inspiration Station podcast. Topics for discussion will come from prophetic passages featured on Reverend Patty's Inspiration Station blog or her book, Awakening the Inner Ticker of Life. For more information, visit sacredwalkhome.com. Thanks for tuning in. Hi everyone, welcome to the podcast. So glad you could join me today. If you hear some rumbling in the background, well, welcome to the summer weather. We've got some storms going on, so I'm recording the podcast in between the blasts. This week we're continuing our discussion with God's armor of protection, and we're focusing on the helmet of hope, also known as the helmet of salvation. Now let's take a minute to dial down and take in these holy words. All that is good comes from God. Here's today's message. We know helmets have been made from various materials. In different times in history, they were made from cloth, leather, scales, brass, and iron. Today, helmets are made out of all sorts of materials and used for a variety of reasons. In sports, we have motorcycle riders, bicycle riders, football players, and let's not forget our young men and women around the world who serve our nation. Helmets provide an element of protection. And here's a question to ponder. What do we need protection from? We need protection from that which can come against us, unseen forces, and not in the way one perceives it to be. And again, many refer to this as the helmet of hope or the helmet of salvation, but it's so much more. Let's take a look. On a spiritual level, the helmet of salvation helps protect our thoughts, especially when one is knocked off centered, harboring anger and resentment, thereby moving God out of the equation, peeling back another line of defense. With God eased out of the frame, the personal stage of life goes very dark. As the mind rehashes over and over the repetition of an event, we bring to mind the image of the battered Christ. We know the thorns were driven into Yeshua's head. It says in Scripture, weaving a crown of thorns, they put it on his head. We know that this also represents an interruption in one's thought processes, and we want to protect ourselves from those things that interrupt our thought processes that are not from God but come from other sources. So as we prepare ourselves for the day in the hope and comfort of God, we trust that God will take care of our needs and some of our wants. So don't forget to put that helmet on. Take care to cover the sensitive areas and watch your thoughts. Now here's our closing vision. Recharge your spirit as you recharge your cellular phone. Embrace the sights, smells, and sounds after a summer rainstorm and find a sense of being, and remember, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And through this process, we're going to begin piece by piece, section by section, one step at a time, one day at a time, wrapping ourselves in the good of God as we examine God's armor of protection. Next week, we'll look at the breastplate of righteousness. And here's our closing prophetic passage. The whole armor of God includes God's armor of protection and blessings. Don't forget, if you feel inspired, leave a comment. I will be back with you soon. Be blessed.